Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome! Welcome to the 2-year anniversary special for my channel. It's hard to believe it's been 2 years since I uploaded my very first video. Crusader Kings 2, Multiplayer Let's Play, Season 2, or... Wow, I cocked that up. Season 1, Episode 1. Yes. Wow. Yeah, it'd be impressive if I started with Season 2. Got my morning coffee here. How the hell am I gonna need it? Because I've decided to do something ridiculous today. Something incredibly ridiculous that you already know because you've probably read the title of the video. I'm going to be reading fan fiction written by a hormonal 14-year-old teenaged fan of mine. Where apparently I've been shipped into a girl and I'm with Shen. Yeah, I'm just about as confused about that as you are. It's really jarring to get ready to read this. Like, I just want to just suck down my entire mug of coffee. Alright, that's the liquid courage I needed. Ugh. And of course I have my real nice communist military beret, yeah, imported from Cuba. Now, for some context here, I'm going to be reading the final paragraph first because it makes things a little, well, let's face it here, literary skills of 14-year-old girls can be called into question. So, you know, sometimes you just need to read things a little out of order. Alright. Deep breath. It's really jarring to read this in front of what will likely be 2,000 to 3,000 people. I mean, really. Jeez, never thought I'd be doing this. Ugh. I wanted to do this for my 1000th video special. Chickened out. Can't believe I'm finally actually managing to pull this off. Alright. No more stalling, Alright, so I'm going to be reading the last paragraph first to put things in perspective, but before we begin, the rest of this video 18+. If you're under 18, get the hell out. Got it? Good. I'll give you 5 seconds to leave the room. And or kick your parents out. Wasn't 5 seconds, I don't care. We're starting. Shen gestured for her to get on her knees and smiled, whispering, "Are you ready?" Sally said nothing, then gasped in pleasure when Shen penetrated her tight anus, starting to move faster and faster as well as deeper, Sally moaning in tandem with Shen's thrusts. Shen's cock was massaged by the tight walls of Sally's anus, and he moaned in pleasure. Sally could feel a small spurt of cum flushing inside her anus, and then suddenly the floodgates opened again, Shen's cum coming thick and fast. They both sighed contentedly. Sally leaned next to Shen's ear and whispered, "Did I tell you my middle name is Kailvin?" as the cum dripped out of her widely spread anus. I should really close that door. There are other people in this house. Yeah, I needed to close that door. Sorry. Things I don't want people hearing me reading, which is also maybe why I'm a little less projective than usual. I'm sure you can understand. I need more coffee. Alright. Now, this time we're going to be starting from the beginning. Coffee mustache. Alright. Here we go. Alright. 50 Shades of Shen by Alice Waldonia. Shen and Sally had been close friends for a long time. Both worked as waiters in the local P.F. Chang's. Sally was a normal girl, despite being a hermaphrodite. Because of this, it was hard for her to find someone who will love her, and who she could love in turn. Shen was a 6'1" man with a 5 o'clock shadow and a slightly defined body. Shen looks to be in his early 30s with no grays, but a few faint lines starting to show. Sally's your typical 20-year-old woman, curvy with the small natural breasts and a nice ass, her luscious black hair falling down to a comfortable length. I should really get a haircut soon. more coffee, damn it. Okay. Shen is a very kind man who dates women that Sally thinks are disgusting and rude. He's one of those types that tries to fix people, as Sally explains it. Sally looked up with a wry smile on her lips as she spied Shen waiting on an older couple. He seemed to have patience of a saint. She really was lucky to have him as a friend. She was interrupted from her musing by a cough from the manager. She sighed slightly. Wow. I'm also possibly illiterate. She sighed dejectedly and went to take an order. Walking back to the table with plates in hand, she turned the corner and tripped over a foot. She windmilled, trying to keep her balance, and was falling hard, the smooth skin of her palms covered with the mess. Suddenly, the sensation of falling was gone, and she looked up as she... Okay, I really am illiterate. Okay, let's try that again. She looked up and she saw Shen's face, creased with worry. Blushing, Sally reached up and felt Shen's smooth face leaning in on her lips. Brushed against his, Shen was still shocked. Sally pressed in and slowly started tongue-fucking. Okay, slowly started tongue-fucking him. I may or may not have read this, by the way. I probably should have. Oh, good God. Her tongue exploring his mouth. Shen returned to the favor, slowly brushing his tongue against hers. Shen had his arm around Sally, his body brushing up against her hard nipples. Shen pulled away and asked, "Are you all right?" He helped Sally up. "Yeah, I am," Sally said nervously. Shen had rushed over so selflessly it made her blush. "You're such a klutz. It's adorable, though," said Shen, laughing. Okay. Nice and easy now. Sally laughed and pushed at Shen. Naturally, Shen dodged her attempt to being used to these kinds of games. Suddenly, a grouchy voice came from the back of their heads. "Get back to work," said their boss. Reluctantly, they returned to work. Man, this is jarring to read. Like, you know? Give me more. Already out of coffee. Fuck. I am not going to get through this. Okay. Sally, still amazed by the quick turn of events, gently put down the plates on the counter as Shen gives her a gentle slap on her butt. The two exchanged long view as Sally hurried to carry the plates on. Sally's mind was in turmoil. 1 minute she'd been waiting, and the next minute she'd been kissing her best friend. Maybe this will work, she thought to herself, as she walked away slowly, still in a state of shock. Luckily for the two, their break was approaching fast, and and both of them looked forward to the intimacy of this moments. Okay, I probably should have spell and grammar checked this first. As the shift ended, the supervisor let Shen and Sally leave for their break. Shen grabbed her butt firmly and gave her a kiss on the neck. It was 2.55. Okay. Let's try that again. Let's replace that period with a colon. It was 2:55, and Sally knew both Shen and her break was going to get off things I don't want to do while I'm reading. Pornography, including but not limited to answering my cellular phone. Okay, now, where was I? 2:55, and Sally knew both Shen and her were going to get off work at 3 o'clock. Sally knew she needed to be brave and ask Shen out. Nervously, she meandered over to Shen and got his attention. "Shen, I want to ask you something," she said. "Okay, what is it, Sally?" Shen said nonchalantly. You want to go somewhere after work?" Sally exclaimed quickly. "Yeah, let's do that," Shen said. "How about we take a walk in the backwoods behind the building and walk back when it gets late? The leaves do look beautiful this time of year." "Yeah, that sounds great," Sally replied. And I haven't grown out my beard like this since Tropico. That was always fun. Barrette, big beard. He still has some nice big aviator glasses too. Don't know what happened to those though. And I also have a cigar somewhere I could just put in my mouth. Really did look like a good old Latin American dictator. Now, all right. They walked hand in hand down the street until they neared the forest. Okay. I'm doing so well so far. So after work, they walked down into the forests. Sally noticed that Shen began to seem nervous as she was. It gave her a good feeling that maybe this will all work out this time. Unlike so many other guys in the past she had been with, Shen seemed open-minded and kind. Maybe he'd love her for her and not her body. They found a clearing of trees that showed an ocean of yellows, browns, oranges, and reds. I swear, like, every part of my body is just getting itchy right now. This is about the most embarrassing thing I think I've ever done for YouTube. And, you know what? Definitely reaching my comfortable limits. Definitely long past those already. Okay. Let's do the bread. Much better. Okay, really do need a haircut. Shen seemed open-minded and kind. Maybe he'd love her for her and not her body. They found a clearing of trees that showed an ocean yellow, red, brown, and oranges and reds, and they looked up from a ledge. "This is a beautiful place," said Shen. "Let's stop here," Sally agreed with a quick nod. They sat together on the pin needle thicket. What the hell's a pin needle thicket? What the hell's a P.F. Chang's anyway? I assume that's some American restaurant. I don't get those up in Canada. Like, I've heard of it before, but, you know. Okay. So, after work, they walked down into the forest. Sally noticed that Shen began to... What? Okay, let me try that again. Right paragraph, please. Sally thought to herself, if I don't do this now, I'll never forgive myself. Before Shen could speak, Sally moved in to kiss him. The kiss began sweet, with simple locked lips. Then, after not too long, they began to kiss more vividly. Soon after, Sally laid herself on top of Shen and held him tight. Saying that, he dragged her down on a soft spot and continued the lustful kissing, her tongue exploring every inch of his mouth. The two started where they had left off. "I can't tell you how long I've waited just for this," said Sally, starting to fall into a lustful moaning in expectation of what was to come next, not wanting to hold back anymore, and knowing that their intimate time was limited. Shen grabbed for her ribbons of the short dress Sally wore as her work uniform, and quickly unlacing it and unveiled her breasts he had longed for all these months. Shen drank in her form with his eyes, her luscious curves and natural breasts. Her nipples stood naked in the warm breeze as her hair tickled Shen's quite well-defined chest that he exposed whilst Sally was busy tearing off her dress. That's a continuity error. I hate to say this. Continuity error, I'm calling it. Shen grabbed for the ribbons of the short dress Sally working uniform. Alright, fair enough. And Shen's quite well-defined chest that he exposed whilst Sally was busy tearing off her dress. Continuity error. Calling it. Fix it. I know the artist will be watching this, or writer. Fix it. If you're gonna make fanfiction involving me, you make good fanfiction involving me. No continuity errors and crap. Sally felt guilty that she hadn't told Shen about her beforehand. She was scared how he'd react. She hadn't experienced this sort of love from anyone. Despite her being so beautiful, despite her having a penis scared away most men, so naturally she became insecure. Both of them were now in just their underwear, exchanged a long, heavy kiss, whilst either of their erections showed clearly through the last remnants of clothing left between them. The tension was palpable as Shen looked at her small bulge. After a brief moment, hey, small bulge. Let's try that again. The tension was palpable as Shen looked at her colossal bulge. Much better. After a brief moment, Shen locked her in an embrace. Smiling, Sally has ecstatic. Man, I really should have spell-checked this first. She finally found a man who didn't shy away from her. Shen softly touching it whilst noting, "I think it's cute, and kind of sexy." Whilst Shen's hand slowly wandered down Sally's body, and finally came to rest upon her ass, Sally responded by grabbing Shen's pants and removing them so... Again, continuity error, I'm calling it. Shen's pants. Now, a couple of things ago... Underwear. The only articles of clothing left between them. Yeah, both of them were now in just their underwear. grabbing Shen's pants and moving them so quickly that they ripped. Again, continuity error. Fix it. You make good fanfiction. Sally moved her hand to Shen's penis, stroking it with increasing speed. Her hand wrapped around it, tightening her grip as she went on. Shen released a lustful moan as Sally continued to move her hand faster and faster, Shen's moans fluctuating with the tempo. His throbbing penis and the rising up and down. His arousal did not stop him from moving his hand to Sally's penis, though, which he started to go to work at heavily, his lustful grunts now mixing with Sally's feminine squeals of joy. Yee! I cannot hit girl octaves. I have a rather deep voice, I'm afraid. After minutes of working, they lay entwined grunts mixed with sighs. Sally reached down for Shen's throbbing cock and leaned down, slowly putting it in her mouth as she started sucking it passionately, moving her mouth back and forth, deep-throating it as best she could before gasping for air. Shen groaned with lust and pleasure as Sally moved her mouth in rhythm with Shen's thrusting. Meanwhile, Shen had moved his hand back down to Sally's cute... No. Let's choose another adjective. Gigantic penis. Massaging it with 3 fingers, and 3 fingers only. Shen was slowly reaching climax, his grunts rising in volume, and his cock hardened as much as it would possibly go. Suddenly, Shen's penis flooded, come down Sally's throat. Sally gasped and choked a little bit, but recovered and swallowed. The sweetest cum she had ever tasted. Shen let out one final moan, and the floodgates closed. Sally sighed and laid back contentedly. Shen smiled wickedly and winked at her. It's not over yet, he whispered huskily into her ear, accelerating his message of Sally's gargantuan lovemaker, until she moaned in pleasure and released her cum, splashing onto Shen's face in a burst beyond his expectations of such a... I'm really running out of adjectives here. Let's see. Colossal, massive. And we'll just remove adorable. There. So instead of a small adorable cock, such a massive cock. It doesn't fit, but whatever, it'll do. But much better that way. Shen gestured for her to get on her knees and smiled, whispering, "Are you ready?" Sally said nothing, and then gasped in pleasure when Shen penetrated her tight anus, starting to move faster and faster as well as deeper, Sally moaning in tandem with Shen's thrusts. Shen cock was massaged by the tight walls of Sally. Okay, Shen cock. I really should have spell-checked this. The walls of Sally's anus, and he moaned in pleasure. Sally could feel a small spurt of cum flushing inside her anus. You know, I already read this paragraph. How the hell did I not fix that the first time? I'm a dumbass. And then the sudden flood... wow. Alright, you know what? Let's just try this paragraph again. Shen gestured for her to get on her knees and smiled, whispering, "Are you ready?" Sally said nothing, then gasped in pleasure when Shen penetrated her tight anus, starting to move faster and faster as well as deeper. Sally moaned in tandem with Shen's thrusts. Shen's cock was massaged by the tight walls of Sally's anus, and he moaned in pleasure. Sally could feel a small spurt of cum flushing inside her anus, and then suddenly the floodgates opened again, Shen's cum coming thick and fast. They both sighed contentedly. Sally leant next to Shen's ear and whispered, "Did I tell you my middle name is Kailvin?" as the cum dripped out of her widely spread anus. Okay. Well, that's the end of Chapter 1 of 50 Shades of Shen. The hell did I just read? Okay. Well, that's the most humiliating thing I think I've ever done for YouTube. Where's the pistol? I need to shoot myself. I don't even have anything else to say. It's been 2 years of YouTube. And, you know what? Let's start the 3rd year of YouTube with something weird, different, and odd, shall we say. So yeah, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you everybody for watching, or listening, or whatever you want to call it. As always, this has been your lovely, lovely host, Kailvin. Signing off.